Chapter 1. You're the Key. When Neville Goddard wrote, "No one to change but self," he wasn't merely offering philosophical advice. He was handing us the master key to change every area of life. It means this: your outer world is not a separate thing, acting on its own. It's a mirror. It reflects what you deeply believe, feel, and expect about yourself. The Gospel of John says, "And for their sakes I sanctify myself, that they also might be sanctified through the truth." John 17:19. This line speaks directly to this idea. When we purify or transform ourselves, we uplift the world around us. We sanctify others by shifting within. You are the center of change, and the only real transformation happens inside. Chapter 2. Becoming the Ideal. Neville once shared a profound mystical vision he experienced at sea. He meditated deeply on the perfect state, what it would mean to be without condemnation, to see only purity. As his awareness deepened, he felt himself become a being of fire in a body of air. A heavenly chorus sang, "He is risen!" And Neville knew they were speaking about him. That vision wasn't just a dream, it was the symbolic expression of a truth. When you embody the ideal within, the world around you reflects it. You don't wait for the world to change first. You become what you want to experience. This aligns with Florence Scovel Shinn's teaching. Man can only receive what he sees himself receiving. In other words, when we embody our desired state internally, wealth, health, love, life must echo it back. Chapter 3. Healing begins within. In his vision, Neville walked among the blind, the withered, the broken, those who waited, not for a miracle, but for him. And as he approached, they were healed without effort. Limbs grew, eyes opened, and perfection returned. This wasn't a fantasy, it was a powerful symbol. He had meditated so deeply on perfection that it overflowed from him, reshaping the world around him. Dr. Joe Dispenza, a neuroscientist and spiritual teacher, explains this using modern science. You cannot create a new future, holding on to the emotions of the past. When you become emotionally aligned with your ideal future, the body and brain respond as if it's real. Healing follows. You don't wait to be healed to feel whole. You feel whole, and healing follows. Chapter 4. Self-concept creates reality. At the heart of Neville's teachings is this: your concept of yourself governs your world. If you believe you're a victim, life reflects it. If you believe you are whole, abundant, worthy, the world rearranges to fit that story. Your world doesn't need to be fixed. You do. Joseph Murphy, author of The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, echoes this truth. Change your thoughts and you change your destiny. Whatever dominates your subconscious belief system becomes your experience. There is no outside savior, no hill to run to. I lift mine eyes unto the hills, Neville says, but the hills are within. The source is inside. Chapter 5. Inner change equals outer shift. Neville warns us, if you try to change your circumstances without changing your inner state, it's just rearranging surfaces. Nothing will last. You may move cities, change jobs, or start new relationships, but you'll bring the same version of you along. And that version recreates the same story. As within, so without. Instead of fighting with circumstances, imagine yourself already living your ideal reality. Don't argue with the physical, transform your mental atmosphere. It's not about using force, it's about using consciousness. To quote Emmett Fox, you cannot have one kind of mind and another kind of environment. Chapter 6. Your inner ruler. Every person in your life, whether they help or hinder, is playing a role in the script you've unconsciously written. Neville puts it simply. People are servants of the law of consciousness. They reflect your self-concept. If you see yourself as powerful, respected, and loved, people will act accordingly. If you see yourself as small and overlooked, the world echoes that too. This is not to blame others, it's to reclaim power. Your life is being written from within you. No help cometh from without. Chapter 7. Emotional fuel. What drives transformation? Emotion. Neville writes that great wars are followed by materialism and greed. Not because people want that, but because war stirs up hatred. That hate lowers the collective consciousness. If we could feel as deeply about peace, love, and possibility as we do about anger and pain, we'd rise instead of fall. Dr. Joe Dispenza backs this up. Where you place your attention is where you place your energy. When you fuel your mind with powerful emotions of love, joy, and gratitude, your energy shifts, and so does your life. Chapter 8. Rewire with love, not resistance. Neville teaches us that attacking the things we dislike only reinforces them. Instead, we must withdraw attention and imagine better. This is the ancient principle echoed in the Bible. Think on whatsoever things are lovely. Philippians 4:8. When you dwell in beauty, gratitude, and joy, you begin to create beauty, gratitude, and joy around you. When you obsess over hate or fear, those states multiply in your world. As Neville says, qualities die for want of attention. Ignore what you don't want. Imagine what you do. Chapter 9. The only transformation that matters. There is truly nothing to change but self. As soon as you succeed in transforming your inner state, the world around you reshapes like melted wax. All effort without this transformation is in vain. Florence Scovel Shinn said it best. The game of life is a game of boomerangs. Our thoughts, deeds, and words return to us sooner or later with astounding accuracy. You don't have to fix the world. Fix your inner world. The outer world follows. Chapter 10. Your imagination is the workshop. To summarize, the world you see is shaped by how you see yourself. Emotion fuels transformation. Inner change always precedes outer results. Your imagination is not fantasy, it's creation. Meditation, visualization, and inner dialogue are your true tools of change. Neville's mystical experiences are not rare gifts. They are invitations. They show what's possible when you truly believe, feel, and become what you desire. As Neville said, live as though the wish has been fulfilled. When you do, the universe must comply. Closing thought. If you're ready to change your life, don't look outside. Start where it matters, with yourself. You are the author, the actor, and the director. And the scene doesn't change until you do.